Welcome to the Tactics Talk for Man United versus Leicester. Sam, welcome. It's going to be a very different one this week, isn't it? Because we've heard from yesterday's press conference that there's going to be a few youngsters in the squad, even maybe on the bench, maybe even starting. But what's your take going into this game? Because we've obviously been talking about it over the last week about who should start, who should be playing. But what's your thoughts?
I think my main thoughts going into this one is to not set up how we have done the past few weeks, few months. Obviously, we did against QPR, didn't we? We put a first, what most people would consider a full first team. Obviously, a lot of this season has been who can be the better player at the moment. I think we are struggling, so that's why we've seen the likes of Monga be picked into the team. I hope that Ruud can do something a bit different. I'm hoping that we're going into the game and having a complete different style and a complete different lineup to what we saw against Everton. But I don't want to see the same players out there after that defeat. I think we really need to switch things around. I think it's a great time to play a team like Man U and a great time for it to be in the Cup, because I think it's something that we need to, like I said, push in some of those different players and see what they can do against, what would be considered a half decent team in the Premier League.
Yeah, like I said, I think we've all said it's kind of more of like a free hit. Whereas if we're out of it, then if we lose and we're out of it, then there's every chance we can just focus on the league. But if you win, and you have either changed it up or have tried new, then it's just a bonus in all. So going into the game, then it is going to be a different one. I don't know how many players you're going to switch out, but like you said, you don't want to see the team that you've got out against Everton, so it's going to be very different for you. I'll start with you then, mate. I have gone for a back 3/back 5. I'm guessing because you want to see something changing. So what's your goalkeeper looking like?
For me, it's still going to be Hermansen. I think it was wrong to play him against Everton. He deserved his spot, and Hermansen should have come back in for this game anyway. So I think to get some minutes in his legs and get rid of that rust that's probably on him after not playing for 3 months, play him in that team and give him another good run around.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be a bit different for you, just because I feel like you're putting out a B-side, and I don't think Stolisic really is a B-side player anymore. Like, yeah, so for me, I'm going to put Stolisic in just because, if I can say his name right again, I don't see a reason why he shouldn't play. Like, he's not. I don't think he's in too much game time now in the Premier League. Now Manchester, so give him an goal. But for me, just give him a bit more of a run out because I think he deserves it. And I don't think he deserves the trip against.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's a weird one going into it. I see what you mean. For me, my biggest thing is Stolisic played well. I think it was the wrong way around potentially. I think, like I said, Stolisic shouldn't have been in the team. Hermansen shouldn't have been in the team the other day, and it should have been flipped. But I get why. But for me, Hermansen, I think goalies, they don't really get tired. They just potentially can get injured. But let's hope not. So Hermansen for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Reedy's having a couple mic issues, so I'll carry on the talk. And we'll obviously get your comments as to who you would start tonight. It's going to be an interesting game, Reedy. It's a big one coming up tonight. It's a big chance to play some of these different teams and players in there. I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, like I say, get your comments in down below, and I'll read a couple comments in. So Jamie Trigger Toft is saying let's have some youngsters in tonight, and yes, I couldn't agree more, Jamie. That's how I would play it tonight. David is saying just go for it tonight. Let's play the youngsters, and they won't get another chance in the league. It depends on how they do this. Monga, if he's going to be considered to be one of these, wonder kid players, 15-year-old, like I say, if they're good enough, they're old enough. So for me, I put him into my team tonight. I think he goes straight into the first team because the wingers have been not a massive weak point for us, whoever we've played. So for me, I would do it that way. Reedy, do we have you back? Not yet. Okay, I'll still be reading comments. David as well is saying Hermanson needs minutes. Oh, Reedy's disconnected, so you just got me now with nothing, no graphics. Lovely. We'll work with this for now. Hermanson needs minutes. No point starting against Everton and not tonight. I agree. I feel like if you're going to work Hermanson back in, get some minutes into him. And David as well. A lot of comments from David today. Let's have a look. Coley, Nelson, and Koulibaly, not sure on the left. Well, I believe Nelson has gone back to Oxford now. He's injured. He came back when he was injured. Now he's gone back to them. I don't know why he comes back to Seagrove when he's injured, but it's how it is. And we'll see how that is going into it. I think Mr. Reed is back. I think he's just setting up, so we'll give him a couple more minutes. But yeah, it's going to be a weird one. Like you said, I mean, who would you play up there? Who would you play up front? Who would you play on the wings, the wing backs? It's one of those things where it's going to be a weird one. I mean, I would play, like say, the youngsters into that team, and yeah, so you can hear obviously mic overlay there. Apologies for that. Yeah, I mean, if you guys got any more comments, put them in the comments. We'll keep trying to get us back whilst Reedy's going. Apologies for the delay. Here he is on his phone, I believe. It's obviously some tech issues, not very good for tactics talk when we're trying to get the players in, but it is what it is. Reedy, are you back with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Finally, you're back.
Yes, I'm having to join my phone, but yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, let's go for David here saying, would you try Evans up top? I believe he's also the youngster, isn't he, that's been brought into the team for tonight's match. I would. Again, we got to try something different. Reedy, let's get into the team. Let's get into the defenders now that you're back.
Yeah, I do believe that we should change it up. I don't know how much though. Let me go to my team, and I think it's difficult. I think Koulibaly goes straight in for me on the right. I think there's no better time to bring him in than a FA Cup game, to be honest. He goes in, and then on the left-hand side, it is difficult. There's no other place. Is Luke Thomas still here?
I think Luke Thomas is still here, so
Luke
he's
Thomas
an
is in
option.
there. Tried to think different. Luke Thomas as my two fullbacks.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that. I'm going to put all 5 of my players in whilst I'm here. For me, left wing back, I'm going to agree. I'm going to put Thomas in there, but obviously as a wing back and not just a left back. So he's going to get into my team again. I don't think Christensen's done too much wrong. I think he plays with a good amount of passion, which is a nice thing to see. But I don't think the quality quite matches the passion. But sometimes you need some passion, but it's not easy when his defensive line next to him is both lacking quality and also passion, so that kind of doesn't help him. My left centre back, I'm going to put a Coley in there again. I think we need to switch it around, and it's hard to see who goes into team and who doesn't. So for me, a Coley goes into that team, and then we'll go for the middle centre back. I'm going to put Cody in there. As much as I like to switch it around. Because Vestergaard and Fies against Everton were both poor, some bad decisions. And then right centre back, I'm going to put Justin as my right centre back. Yeah, again, I just think switching it around, try something different, and then I agree with Koulibaly, but he's going to be my wing back for the game.
Yeah, I can see why you changed a lot of things.
It's the time to do it where it doesn't matter. The result doesn't matter tonight. So if you're going to go out there and try and change something different, let's do it. If Ruud goes out there tonight and plays the same style of football, I think we're doomed for the rest of the season, really. I don't think his style and the way the players maybe want to play and the way we are playing is going to get us out of the rut we're in. I think it might pick up a couple of wins here and there, a couple of draws potentially, like we did against Spurs, who were in pretty poor form. We might get 1 or 2 more wins, but I genuinely think that we need to change something drastically, and we couldn't get any players in, which is no good for the board. That's no good from the board. they were in a situation where we couldn't bring any players in. But we're here now, so like I said, it's the youth team. But I don't want to just see Tim in for Tom. I don't want to see those players just get rotated out and we play the same style of football but with different players, because for me, different tactics and different style of football is also key to progressing and making changes.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with one of the centre backs. Cody comes back in. I don't see really what she's done wrong to deserve a drop from when he did get dropped. I'm not too sure. But he deserves to run out again. And as much as I'm not a big fan of him, Cody comes in for me. I'm not going to play the two players that I've been playing the last couple of games.
Well, they were poor against Everton, really. So you need to swap it around. And we watched the highlights the other day. It's not good. You were literally, I think, about on the brink of tears in laughter watching the way Fies defended, I believe, their fourth goal. It is like, a Charlie Chaplin comedy sketch from back in the early 30s, watching that, put it on 2x speed and, the funny music behind it. And it's almost a comedy watching it. It was not a good performance. And for me, as much as we probably would all agree, a Coley and Cody are also, not very good at performing. They've had massive underperformances and let us down. Both of them have at times something.
Oh God, now
then so be it. But that's why I've swapped my team around.
No, I thought you disappeared for a second.
Say again. I think we both did a little bit. Okay, Reed, let's move on into the midfield then. Go on, you go first, whilst we're at who are you going to put as your two defensive mids, I assume?
It's difficult. It is really difficult. I'm gonna see Mario is in there because I don't really got much other option. Realistically. Simari comes in, and then Skip. I don't think there's much of an option. Skip is the man that comes in.
Yeah, I can see why Winks again, not very good against Everton. It really did. He lacked the tracking back. A lot of those goals you watched, you could see players back in front of him. Jordan is obviously bringing up a comment that is in Diddy back. I believe he is fit, so Reedy might be changing his mind quickly.
No, I'm not, mate. No, I'm not.
No, he's going to stick with it.
Yeah, I don't think pushing him back is my opinion anyway. Right.
Well, we'll get to move on to my team and I'll let you know.
Yeah, go on, mate.
Yeah, I disagree a little bit. I am going to put Ndidi in my team, whether it's just for the first 45 minutes or first 60 minutes. He needs to get some minutes back in his legs for me. So Ndidi does go into my team just so he can get some minutes under him because he's been out for a long time. So again, he's going to be one of these players where, he's probably going to lack a bit of fitness because he's been out for a while. And for me, I wouldn't go out and play a B team. I would just go out and play players that deserve to be into that team. So for me, I would play. If you move the other central defensive midfielder up into the attacking mid spot, and then the two wingers across. So I mean, I guess I need to put it in first. I'm going to start with Buonanotte in my midfield attacking mid because I don't think El Khanous might not start. Nothing to do with El Khanous in particular. I just think Buonanotte could do with a start, and I think in a cup game to try and build some confidence back, a bit like QPR. That would be great. So that's what I'm going to do. And I think Reedy is changing his mind, clearly. He's putting Ndidi in there, I guess. Yeah, there you go.
I think with how them two played together against West Ham and Brighton, I think I've got I don't want to put a full change team around.
No, I get it. Like I say, if you want to go back, Ndidi and Samari have had some good games together. Obviously, Ndidi getting injured, I thought Samari was pretty poor. Yes, Everton, I think the whole team was pretty poor, to be honest with you. So I'll probably say that about everyone. But I give Samari a rest because I think he's probably been the one that's been fairly consistent. I don't know if he was looking a bit leggy because, again, Winks was not helping him out at all. So Buonanotte pushes up into the midfield for me as the attacking mid, Ndidi in the defence mid, and then I'm going to play with the two wingers. I'm going to start Monga. I think he deserves at least a shot to get in there. Whether he's on this or not, we'll find out.
He won't be. He would be
So that's who I would play. We're going to just put some random geezer in on this system. Let's see who we can put in there. There you go. Close enough. Monge. He's going to be my right. Is he a right winger? I guess then. I don't know if he's left or right winger. All right, then he'll go into my right winger spot. Why not?
Fair enough.
Why not? And then left wing. Oh, go on then. You go to your team.
Does Elkanou start? Does he go full strength? Sod it. I'll put Buonanotte in the central spot. I'll put Monge as well here. And what before you do yours, I'm gonna put Elkanou.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
So more of a I guess.
Yeah.
Instead of a Mavadidi there, you have Elkanou.
Yeah. Just bringing up LCFC DP. Really start 50 on. Yeah, I would. If he's like I say, if he's good enough, he's old enough. If you think you, Bobby Reed or Mavadidi are better, then by all means play them. But I think if you're going to have to play some of these academy players, why not try them? I'd give him a start. You got nothing to lose really. The cup game means nothing tonight. I don't think anyone is going to go. I mean, we got offered 10,000 tickets and 9,000 came back. I don't think anyone's fussed about tonight, really. I think the only thing we're going to be fussed about is what can we do to change it around. I don't think anyone's going to go there thinking we can beat Man U. I don't think, I'm definitely not thinking it's important. It's definitely not important. I mean, we don't want to get drugged. That's the main thing. We don't want to go there and come back with a 5 or 6-0 defeat. But I do want to come back with, okay, we've tried something different. We're going to take it into the Arsenal game and then build onto it for the teams like Brentford and Fulham and those teams that are coming up in the short future. So for me, that's why I would play that. David, Monga's changed a little bit. He's now Australian.
And he's only 15, 16 in there.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how I do it. Left winger. I mean, I'm going to play Mavadidi for me as my left winger because, again, I think I'm quite strapped for choices. So I'm going to put Mavadidi in there again to alternate between going in the midfield to the attack. So that, like I said, for me that just offers up a lot more depth on the side. Yeah. So as you can see, like I said, we're playing with less midfielders, but I want to play, like I say, a system where we're getting it up to the attacking players quicker and we can build on it rather than holding possession-based football between the players. As soon as Hermanson or the defenders win the ball back, I want to see Thomas and Koulibaly bomb it up the wing and do counter-attacking football. It is more risky, but that's why you play 3 centre-backs for me, and then Diddy can hold back a little bit more. And you're offering yourself a decent amount of defenders to attackers. And I don't know why we haven't tried it, to be honest with you, much this season. So that's what I would do anyway.
Yeah, and then we've only got one spot each other to get. Who are you starting? Are you starting Vardy? Or are you starting Daka?
No, I'm going to start this Evans. I'm starting Evans, this kid. This other, I think, 16, 17-year-old that's been brought into the team. Again, if you're bringing them into the team, don't play him for 20 minutes on the bench. There's no point. Just give him a chance, You can put Johnny Evans up there if you want, because I doubt he's going to be on it. But this guy, it doesn't quite look like him, but again, I get it why play the kids, but if they're good enough, they're old enough. I mean, Jude Bellingham, he was playing at Birmingham at 16. The guy's moved to Dortmund at 17, and now he's 20 at Real Madrid, their best player pretty much. So, age is literally just a number when it comes to football. If they're good enough, then the age is literally no issue. And if Monga's going to be considered, I think the Iniesta from Leicester is what people are saying. So if that's the case, I mean, yeah, I know it's a bit tongue in cheek with that, but if that's the case, play him then, because no one else is playing like Iniesta.
He is the next best thing. He is the next big thing coming out.
Everyone's playing like, what's that striker used to call the guy from Blackpool, old guy, a little bit on the bigger side. Gary Taylor Fletcher, that's it. Everyone else is playing like a Gary Taylor Fletcher at the moment. So if you got an Iniesta in the youth team, then let's play him.
Yeah, I get you, mate. I'm not going to be that risky. Then again, he's probably got the shooting boots.
Risk is a risk. I think I'd say you've not got less risk, but you definitely got a bit less of a. I mean, you know what Daka can produce. You know Vardy's not been firing, and Edouard again nowhere near the team. So why not try someone different?
I get it. I do get it.
That's my takeaway on it. Anyway, I'm going to play these different players because it's a big chance for us to. I mean, do we want to stay up this year? Yes or no? And the answer is obviously yes. We want to stay up this year. But for me, going into every game playing the same way with the same players, even if you alternate Vardy for Daka, that's not changing anything. You're changing a striker who's coming towards the end of his career, can't find the net at the moment, to someone who's can't find the net and should be in the prime of his career. It's not really a good substitution into the team. And same for Mavididi and Bobby Reed. It's Mavididi who can't do anything on the left wing for Bobby Reed, who occasionally, when he makes his cameo appearances, will get an assist. But he started against Everton and nothing. So
do you honestly think though? I was about to say Enzo then about Ruud putting this sort of team out. Or do you reckon
I don't think Ruud will do it because I don't think he's got enough guile as a manager to do that. I think in the situation we're in, we're not going to sack him. Whether how good or bad he does, we're in a situation where we probably can't afford to sack him, and we literally signed one player for 3 million. So I imagine Ruud's payout is going to be around a couple million as well, which can't afford to sack him. I'm not saying he deserves to be sacked, by the way. I'm just saying if Ruud does go in there with the same kind of system, same kind of style, we kind of it is what it is. And like Jordan's saying here, need to try formations and tactics as it's not working. And for me, really, you can't have 10 games in a row where we play, like I said, we play 10 games, you lose 8, draw and win 2, and draw 1, or 11 games, I guess. For me, that's just not, it's not good enough. It's definitely not better than what it was under Cooper, because, the teams like Everton and that, well, we were drawing or beating those teams that against the teams that Cooper would have got at least a point away from, and we battled, or Southampton where we come back and get something from it. We're getting drubbed. We're not scoring. We conceded, I think, 11 goals against the bottom 6 and scored 0. And we played them 3 or 4 times, and that's rubbish. That is rubbish. That is an absolutely bang out of form team with a manager who can't get them working. So for me, if he doesn't change it tonight, if I see players that are just too similar, and again, you'll see it on the team sheet.
Yes, passion we do know, mate.
Yes. Yeah, I'm on about I think he's called Jake Evans for the.
We've got a young player who's 16.
He's obviously not
okay on this game.
So you just pretend that the Welshman up front, the one that plays for Preston, is playing for Leicester.
There you go. Right. As you can see, that's Sam's team. And that is my team. Again, it could be very different tonight when we look at the team news. Could be a full-fledged team, or it could be a lot of youngsters and...
I mean, what would you class as a full-fledged team, though? Is that saying what we played against Everton? It can't get worse than a 4-0 loss away to Everton.
No, I get that.
It really can't. Not with the players we've got.
For instance, full-fledged is having Ndidi and Sumare, who's
probably potentially, but Ndidi's been out injured for 3 months, so Ndidi could come in and be a bag of spanners because he's not fit.
Oh no, yeah.
But obviously, I play him in my team. Different players in that.
Yeah.
Both agreed to change things around for that. So I think a lot of fans will be. Whether Ruud does it is another thing. I could hardly see us going into the game with virtually the same team that played against Everton. I hope we don't, but I can see it happening.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, guys.
Do a score prediction before we go.
Yeah. Score prediction before we go, mate. What are you saying?
I mean, it's a great opportunity for Manchester United to progress in the Cup tonight. They're going to be looking at it as well. Our seasons, we're probably not going to make top 8 again. Let's go and get another cup under our belts. I think this will be the 3rd one on the spin for them if they were to win it. Realistically, we should, if we play the same team like we have been for the past 10 weeks, I'm going to expect a 3-4, 5-0 loss. But anything can happen if we go out there with a way different team and different tactics. If I see the team sheet and it's got different players, it's got some of the youngsters in there. It's not just like, say, Tim for Tom, and it's not just you replacing A with B, that kind of style. I want to see, like I said, I've never seen Monga play. I've never seen Evans play. Not seen Koulibaly start yet, so why not give him a chance? So that's how I stand on it. But if we go into it with the same kind of system, and you can kind of gauge it from the team sheet, how we're going to play. If we go in there, like I said, for C5s or Vestergaard, in there as a pairing at the back, it's accidents waiting to happen, really. And even a Coley and Cody could be an accident waiting to happen. It's just the two, which is why I'd gone for a back three. But we'll see what happens tonight. And yeah, 3 or 4-0 to United if we play the same team. But if we go out there with something different, hopefully we can try and get something from the game.
I want to go for a 1-1 draw and go to penalties. Just to make it a long night.
Us on penalties is literally disaster. Us on penalties is no good.
Well, maybe Danny Ward gets subbed on. Save us again.
Well, front. He might do something up front. He might do something up front for us. No one else is at the moment. Yeah.
I think the one thing I will mention is Koulibaly has to be the one who starts tonight.
You'd like to think so. It wouldn't surprise me if he's not, but you would like to think he after signing him, and you're not going to play him in 3 league games in a row. Does he start against United in the cup?
Surely.
For me, Reedy, I think we can agree as fans, tonight's got to be a bit of make or break for Ruud. I think we can kind of gauge if he doesn't change anything, if we go into it with a very similar team to Everton, even before the game's kicked off, I'm looking at it and like the rest of the season, I'm like, I don't know what's going to have to change for us to turn this around. For me, it has to be something it's got to be something big, and I don't know if Ruud's going to do that. I mean, I hope he does change it around tonight, because I think, as far as managers go, he's fairly stubborn. And even he said it himself after the Everton game that he needs to change something around. But he said that a lot of times, and yet he hasn't done anything to change it around. Whether he thinks he is or isn't, from a fan's point of view, from my point of view, I don't think he's changing enough. I think, like I said, changing one player for another player isn't changing, and it definitely isn't working either.
No, I agree. Appreciate you coming on, guys. And we'll catch you all on Sunday for
watch along tonight
with Jimmy.
Watch along.
Oh, yes.
There's a watch along tonight, which I believe, I think Chris might be doing it, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yes.
He might be joined by some other Leicester Fan TV cohorts. But I think Chris will be the one that's hosting it tonight, and we'll see who joins him. Hopefully with some positive news. But anyway, if you guys obviously aren't watching the game tonight, do tune in and watch it from there. Give it a listen, have it on in the background whilst you're watching your telly, having your dinner, doing whatever's tonight. But it'll be great to see you there and get your comments in tonight, and we'll see you before the game.
See you in a bit.
I told you I didn't want to go for little, I wanted to go big.